And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. So great to have you with me this morning. I'm enjoying my second cup of coffee here. And I want to share some more thoughts with you in regard to Christ and Satan and the victory of Christ. People tell us preterism cannot be true because, after all, just look around. Satan is still the god of this world. I've been sharing with you that there is a threefold stage to Christ's mission of destroying Satan. There is initiation, there is the process of subjugation, and consummation. From Paul's perspective, Christ had already put all things under his feet. Now I want you to think about that. I want you to catch the power of that. People like to say, Satan is still the god of this world. Well, Jesus said, John chapter 12, that the time had arrived, i.e. the first century, that the ruler of this world would be cast out. The ruler of this world would be judged, was about to be judged. Did Jesus fail? In my last three videos, I've shared with you that the Old Testament and its prophecies of the coming of Christ and his mission, his incarnation, said he would not fail. Now look, if the Bible says Christ wasn't going to fail in his mission, and Christ said he came to destroy the works of the devil, then guess what? He didn't fail in his mission to destroy the works of the devil. But we have initiation, subjugation, consummation. But here's what I want you to catch. Did Paul believe in any way whatsoever that Christ had failed in his mission? Now remember, the Old Testament prophecy said he will not fail. He's going to come. He will not fail. God will laugh at man's efforts to thwart God's purposes. God would not alter his plan. As Paul contemplated Paul's then present reign at the right hand of the Majesty on high, pardon me, notice what Paul says, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 27. He has put, past tense, all things under his feet. You see the initiation? And notice Paul also says, for he must reign. That's in the infinitive. And the power of the infinitive in this text is he must continue to reign. Here's initiation. Here's subjugation, awaiting consummation. But you see, the key point here is that from Paul's perspective, in the first century, Christ had already put all things under his feet. As Paul contemplated that final victory over Satan, the last enemy to be put under his feet is death. The last enemy to be put under his feet, death, i.e. the devil. Revelation 20, 10 to 12, Satan cast into the lake which burns with fire and brimstone. Notice what Paul said in Romans 16:20. And now, the God of peace will crush Satan under your feet shortly. Folks, think about this with me. From Paul's perspective, Christ's initial coming, as John said, was to destroy the works of the devil. Paul said that in the cross, Christ triumphed over the principalities and powers. Paul said he has put all things under his feet, and he will continue to reign until the last enemy is put under him. And he said, the God of peace will crush Satan under your feet shortly. Does that sound like to you that Paul had any concept that Jesus had failed? That God's kingdom plan had been postponed? And remember, he said the crushing of Satan, the sending of Satan's demonic forces to the lake of fire and brimstone was coming very shortly. Now, it seems to me we're faced at this point with a dilemma. Are we going to say, hey, look around, I still see evil? Paul says he has subjected all things. He has already triumphed. He said that 2,000 years ago. Just look around, we are told. Paul said, Christ is about to crush Satan shortly. Number one, the Old Testament said, he will not fail. Number two, Paul said, he has not failed. Number three, he's not about to fail because the final victory over Satan is coming very shortly. Now, are we going to say, Paul, good grief, man, look around? Or are we going to accept by faith, through the eyes of faith, that Christ has triumphed? Hey, thanks for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. We'll have more on the flip side.